Yeah, it did. It get garbled.
Okay, so we're back, and we kind of had we lost the Zoom the internet connection there for a second. So that's why I said we're back. If I guess if I didn't say that, nobody would have known the wiser. Um, but that's okay. We're going to fix this up. This is how real we are. And I'm just going to make myself a quick note. But what I was starting to say is Tanya just shared with us a couple of things. You know, she talked about the choose her own your own adventure and how it impacted her in her corporate life, which led her to understand, and we didn't get too far into this, but how her health and wellness was suffering. You know, she talked about how she wasn't happy. And we went through all of those stages in listening to what Tanya had to say. And it's really interesting because most people don't know what happens on the inside and how things lead to where we're going. And you know, The Artist's Way is a book that's been recommended before. I'm a big reader. Are you a big reader?
I am. I am.
Yeah. Um, sorry to yeah,
And
so
it's definitely one of those books that it's with the 12-week guided journey, it's for that week, it's maybe 4 or 5 pages, but it's pithy and you got to sit with it and you got to write on it and you got to so
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So what I loved hearing was, this wasn't necessarily a linear path either. This was a lot of trial and error. This was a lot of, honestly, like our title says, rediscovering who you are, your wills, your wants, what makes you happy, what helps you grow. And now you impact other people. Tell us a little bit now about what you do and what makes you different.
Oh gosh. I think, I sense this is heart to heart. So I sense a heart connection here because I think and I've seen this in all of your materials. I think you, like me, are just drawn to it because we enjoy impacting people's lives. And
Yeah.
so I think there are many coaches out there that do that. There are many coaches out there that that's not kind of their bent. And so for me, it really is a labor of love. So, I mean, I think when I look at how I chose my adventure, it was not based on money. It was not based on, it was based on, and I was in the unique position to be able to shift to something, to downshift, if you will, financially.
Yeah.
But it is so important to me. And so I come from this place of just really wanting to be, not to help, but to be supportive. Because I think the distinction that I make with that is that this is really choose your own adventure, right? This is really rediscover your best self. And so in that, sort of coaching or coaching principle perspective, this is about you. It's not about me. And so I'm here to support you however I can, provide resources, information when I can, but it's for you to choose the adventure. So I think that coming to that in a very from a genuine place is not typical.
I
I
agree. Yeah. It's not typical. I mean, their coaches are a dime a dozen, and no offense to any coach hearing this, please, there's no offense meant to be, but you're talking to two people here that have certifications and credentials and have done the education and the learning and taken themselves through a personal journey to get there. And that's not the case with a lot of coaches. And that's exactly why I share what I share. I know sometimes it sounds more like a vlog than a blog, but when you open up, it's kind of like Mel Robbins. It's kind of like Brene Brown. It's a little bit like oh my goodness gracious, why can't I think of her name?
It's okay.
Rachel,
You've said it all with Mel Robbins and Brown.
Rachel who? Rachel who?
I might not know this one.
Oh, you do. You do. You do. You do. You do. I know you do. Okay, my point is we keep it real. We keep it real. I'll look afterwards. Rachel Hollis.
Uh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh
So
my gosh, no. Girl, wash your face. Oh yeah, yeah, she's good. And I even have her ex-husband's book here somewhere too.
okay.
Um, Dave Hollis, but he's really good too. And here's what I'm getting at with leaders, even Oprah talks about this. When you show up, yeah, you can help people, you can serve people, you can link arms with them, you can guide them, but when you show up authentic, embracing and sharing your vulnerabilities and your past and what makes you you and what makes you different and your stories, they can connect with that. So what might sound like you're talking about yourself isn't the intention, isn't the case. It's the connection that you get from it, right? And that's what you do by impacting people's lives every single day.
Yeah, and I will mention, so one of my other, well, my volunteer time right now is spent with the White Dress Project, which is a fibroid, uterine fibroid advocacy and support organization. So I'm actually the co-director of research with a wonderful partner, Dr. Rochelle Wolf, and so based on a journey I had with uterine fibroids, I really did some turning inward. And that's where this whole deep self love and embody love, my women's retreat, came from, because it really was about me looking at fibroids in a very holistic way, right? So I did have them removed or have it removed. There was one really large one, but I also wanted to do the work sort of emotionally and um, mentally, and that led to this sort of tool set that I have around, self love and connecting emotionally, emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, and I do that as part of. So I actually have to one of the other things from a coaching perspective you were asking about what makes me unique is it does come from my experience and my passion for it. And so I've created a fibroid coaching sort of program that is, a 3 month that is really designed to not only, again, support you with the emotions around fibroids and, kind of issues with cycle and pain and all kinds of potential symptoms, or making it also supports you with making the decisions around treatment because there are so many different options available. So again, you know, for me, coaching was about finding things that I could really be supportive in, and so that's the other part of it.
Well, and there's a couple things that you mentioned there. So it's not only just having something that you're passionate about, but you can tell as you are volunteering, as you're serving, as you're doing your charitable contribution, it still has a huge connection to who you are.
Yes.
It means something to you. And I'm going to be completely honest. I've been thinking about how I want to contribute and where I want to contribute and what I want it to look like. I haven't tapped in because volunteering here, there, the other place doesn't work with me. Not that I don't want to, it needs to have more drive and passion and purpose. And I can tell you, my current position right now is perfect for me. And I'm going to explain why. Because as much as I like having an impact and doing the coaching, I love working with people and helping them discover who they are and helping them keep their promises to themselves, whatever that looks like, right? Makes them happier and healthier because we all deserve to feel as good as we can possibly feel. And most people don't even have a drop in the bucket to how good they can actually feel every single day, even when life hits them hard. Right now, I manage a staffing agency. And at the time of this recording, so I am connecting people with opportunities and opportunities with people. That fills my cup. And when it comes to whether it's your personal life, your professional life, your volunteer life, it needs to fill your cup. It might not be exactly where you want to go, but whatever you do choose to do, and this is probably why you did not stay in your field, it wasn't filling your cup. And you didn't know it at the time because you weren't as deep, right? But it didn't fill your cup. It filled your bank account. Great. But that's one piece of your cup, right? And so important. Take your time to find the right coaches that you connect with. Take your time to find somebody that you can relate to that gets your story because the wrong coach is going to push you. The right coach is going to encourage you and it's going to tell you you're going to fail, you're going to fall, but find somebody that matches where you want to be. And there should be no external pressure. Like I love everything the way you're saying. You're not even self-proclaimed vegetarian. You're like, yeah, I've came up with my own term. I'm comfortable paving my own path as hard as it is, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and so like that's key. Like I can sit here and be like, oh, everybody I speak to is volunteering somewhere. So I recently, because I was on a sales call with work, And the guy had picked up a phone from his son and took a call, said he would call him back, but then he muttered under his breath about he doesn't understand what's going on. It's borderline personality. And I filled right up with, I didn't even care that my boss was with me. And I gave him some strategies and solutions and I lived through it. So at the time of this recording, which is April 2023, it's going to be pulled out a little bit later down the road. I don't have the exact timeline, 3 to 6 months, something like that. But as of April 2023, the end of April, I didn't care who was around me. I didn't care if my job was on the line. I had to help this man. I had to fill this man up with some information to help him get through the day because his son is in a bad place. And he said, wow, like I thought I was alone through this. Is there a support group? And the reason why I'm sharing this is this now has been the one thing I've been thinking about. How can I support people to get through this?
Mm.
So now I can create that support group. I can volunteer in something that means everything to me. And that's just where I'm saying there's no right, wrong. At your right, I volunteered in so many different things in the past, it doesn't matter. But right now it's like I'm looking for that perfect fill.
Yeah, and
And yeah.
what you're saying for me, it brings up two things. One is that, it really is about what fills, you said, fills your cup, right? And I have many clients that, our focus is on what's their purpose, right? So it is, some people call it, finding their purpose, and people find it what fills their cup, but it's really what, yeah, it connects with you in a very, very deep way. And so that's one thing, is that that is different for everyone, which is great because there's a wealth of volunteer opportunities, ways in which to contribute out there. So I do think that having that really gives you some of that balance, and that, living that best life. And the other thing that you said, which I think was interesting, is really, kind of being able to to find those opportunities, and to be yourself in
Yep.
the space. And so that was one of the things. So I'll give you a preview. So under my, self-love retreat, I have this thing called the S.E.R.V.E. model, right? And the S.E.R.V.E. model, I think this is my engineering brain, just so you know. It's like I have to have, like, okay, this is how I'm going to model this. So, but the S.E.R.V.E. model is about, how do you determine what things, people, places, environments serve you. And so it really taps into how you feel. And so S.E.R.V.E. is S.E.R.V.E. And there's, basically, it's an acronym, for one, the S is, do you feel safe and supported to be yourself?
Mm,
And it just, what you just said is, if you're at work, and even if your boss is, if you feel safe and supported to be yourself, then that's a place that you want to spend. And again, this is not going to be your 100% of your time, of your life, of the people, but if you can find ways to have that 80-20 rule, right, where
hmm
80% of the time you're in spaces, places, with people where you feel safe and supported to be yourself. The E is, are you excited, to be in that place, to be with that person, to be at that job? Um, the R is, when you're there, are you wrapped and riveted? When you're in that moment, in that space, are you? And those two words, I was like, I love these two words.
Yeah,
Um,
wrapped and riveted.
does time fly by when you're there? The V is, do you feel valued, and do you feel that you contribute value?
Yeah.
That is, especially with work, right? That's a super important part, and what we're talking about in terms of filling your cup, finding your purpose, and feeling that value exchange. And then the last thing is, when you, leave that person, that place, that activity, do you feel enhanced? Or
Mm,
it could be as simple as, did you enjoyed yourself, right? So in some way, do you leave better than you came in, to that interaction, to that activity? So for me, I, again, 80-20. So four
yeah.
of those you meet, then you're good. But that doesn't mean you throw it away if you don't meet that sort of bar. You examine the relationship, right? This is where you have the opportunity to explore and say, what's missing here, that's making me not feel safe and supported, that's making me not feel wrapped and riveted. So that's
Oh,
something that I use. I just use that. I don't think he knows that, but I broke up with my last boyfriend because of that model.
but that's perfect. And that is, you know what? I wrote this down and I'm probably gonna have you send it to me so I can make sure I've got all of the points so I can add to the show notes here. But there was a job I had working from home, and I have this was on my last episode. This is my word jar. Okay, so I put love letters on here. And there was a spot where I had ripped one off on my last episode. Excuse me. And I didn't clean the office yet for a purpose, and this purpose must have been this meeting here. And I ripped it up because I had to come up with an affirmation to help me get through the day with the job I was working for before. I was working at home and something flipped, and I did not like the way I was being communicated at. You see, we don't understand where our triggers, when our triggers are going to go off.
Hmm.
But when you're in your 40s, 30s, even 50s and plus, I would say in your 20s, maybe, maybe not. It's a little bit more removed for me and I don't remember, but your triggers are going to probably happen in your 20s and 30s, maybe a little bit older. But you're going to respond to them later in life as a general rule. Childhood traumas are still going to come up. They might come up in your 20s as well. So I guess there is no age, but I'm noticing now because I'm more aware, right? And that's why I say the awareness comes with maturity and a little bit more wisdom. So I had come up with an affirmation because I didn't like the tone of something that was said and I didn't like what was said. And so I was listening to Mel Robbins, and okay, you can see how I tore this up. I don't know if you can actually read the words, but it
Nothing
says,
wrong with me. Yes.
what, say it again?
There's nothing wrong with me.
Yes, say it again.
There is nothing wrong with me.
Right. So I had to say it 3 times every day so I could do my job because I did not like the way the manager assumed things. This was a huge message, which is why I tore it off. Why do you need to have affirmations to help you get through the day when you are working cross country when there is nothing wrong with you? This is powerful. This is huge. This goes in the garbage. But because there is nothing wrong with me. And if somebody makes you feel like that, even inadvertently, go back to what you just said. Go through that S.E.R.V.E thing and apply it to all areas of your life. And then maybe it's not something you can do anything about now, but be more aware, journal, reflect, and understand and tap into. And that's a starting point.
Exactly. It's an awareness builder. It's
Yeah.
being aware. And I mean, for me, it also came out of uh, I had clients who were feeling either stressed or irritable or and weren't quite sure why.
Yep.
And so it was one of those things where we take, you know, maybe people that you spend the majority of your time with, places like work where you spend most of your time, um, and even locations, right? Like at home. I will share. I had one client who, when we talked about her bedroom, she did not feel safe and supported there. She felt like,
Yep.
whether it's her kids or her husband, in all
Yep.
honesty. So we figured a way for her to create her own space somewhere,
Yep.
and that brought her to tears
And it
because
could be simple.
so yeah, so it's really about just taking in and doing a quick check in with the
Yep.
places where you spend the most time and
Yeah.
figure out why is it that I feel this feeling, and you likely will find it's like the body, right? You can have pain in
Yep.
your shoulder and you have a kink in your calf.
Sure. Bring up my weakness, my root chakra. Great. Or you
But
know
yeah,
what though?
deferred pain, yeah.
And it's true. And but the thing is, we're laughing, we're joking, we're making this really light, guys, but it is so true. And you don't want to be living in this space where you're not feeling any of these things. And again, 80/20 rule, nothing is perfect. It is supposed to be a roller coaster ride of life. Nobody's promised you a linear path at all. There's a song, and I can't believe I'm going here. There's a
Oh,
song my dad used to sing to me. And it's like, I never promised you a rose garden. I don't know if you're too young to remember this song, but I'm gonna have to add this to here. I promised you, I have to send this to you because it's
yes,
so
please do.
fitting.
Yes,
Um, Rose Garden. I don't even remember.
you appreciate the good times, and I mean, you talked about it, and I wasn't feeling very well 2 days ago, I think it was. And I went to bed early and kind of got my rest, and I woke up in the morning and I felt so much better. And you can appreciate those times that you feel good.
Hmm.
You have a little dip. So as long as it's not chronic, and that's what, folks like Sonia and I can work with you on. It helps you. Yes, the life is designed to have these things to have you appreciate, but also understand and be have empathy.
Yeah, and just because and the 80/20 rule, and I know we need to watch time because there's a couple questions I want to ask you, and then I'm going live in my Facebook group. Um, so okay, I don't know if you know this, but the name of my Facebook group is Celebrate Everything.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. And I'm just trying to get more traction in that group a little bit. So I'm going live in about 5 minutes. So I know I need to fine tune this, but oh, I just want to reiterate how important it is to respect the 80/20 rule. Neither one of us are saying here if you're falling into the S.E.R.V.E pattern and you're not feeling like any of these things are working, you don't divorce your husband on day one. No. Okay. But you don't need to suffer through it, but you have to own it as well. And this is the accountability piece. It's not their fault, whoever they are, that you're not happy. And we were talking about off camera some of the things I wanted to do. And the last thing I want to do right now is stay home again and stay in these four walls. And I'm in four walls at work now because I don't have the freedom and flexibility I did have. And I'm a manifester. My human design is manifester. I'm a type one energy. I need fun. I need something to look forward to. I need to balance the work, rest, and play. And I know this about myself. So, but I can't go for a run. I can't go for a hike. I can barely do anything. Yeah. You think I'm excited about staying in another weekend and wasting another weekend? No, there's so much life to live. But this is the phase I am in right now. Will I do more harm than good in walking on my foot all day? Probably. Yeah. Will I enjoy the 2 hour drive listening to a book and then going to a women's show? But I'll be in so much pain that's going to impact the rest of my week.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Your ability to do something next weekend. So
right. And yeah. So when things don't work out, think of the S.E.R.V.E, but you don't want to apply it. You want to start seeing what you can do yourself. So my husband today, we've had some stressors lately, and he's a lot less emotional than I am. He's the logic, I'm the emotion, 100% each category. And I feel the distance between us. So I'm like, well, maybe tonight you should start with the massage before anything. Like, I kind of let him know what I needed because there's been so much space and heaviness. Does that mean I want to end the relationship? No. Last thing I want to do is end what we've found after all of these years. But but it's up to me to make myself happy and not him, and not my job, and not my employer, and not my friends. If they can't make it, I would have had a great time alone today. But maybe the reason the answer kept on coming up no is because I shouldn't have been going.
yeah, sometimes the
Right?
universe comes and supports you.
Yeah.
And yes, the S.E.R.V.E model is intended as a starting point for you to just reflect.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
not let me take action. It is a reflection point, and from there, you will choose your adventure.
Okay, because we have officially run out of time, but I have 4 questions for you that I'm going to ask you to send me via email so I can include in the show notes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to explain them now. Meals, movement, mindset, and your relationship with money.
Okay.
Okay, so just give me like a one sentence or whatever, but I'm going to put them in the show notes. So for those that are catching the audio of this, you're going to want to listen, you're going to want to check into the show notes to see Tanya's answers to these.
I will.
And meals, I like to hear what the person does personally, but sometimes people tell me what they recommend. So just go what feels good. And you
There
already
you go.
tapped in
I'm
on that.
ready. I will.
Yeah, you already tapped into that one.
Vegetable.
Uh, vegetarian. Yeah. And then mindset, we did a lot of talk about mindset as we always do. Movement, fill us in on that when it comes to the show notes. And then your relationship with money. And I know you talked a little bit about saving and being prepared, which shares with us your personality type. Unlike me, that gets too distracted. I mean, stories are different though. And here's what I am going to say. I've had 2 divorces, which means I've had to pick myself up twice. I've raised 3 girls. I'm in a blended family with a total of 5 kids. That's a completely different storyline than yours,
Right. Right.
right? So you don't want to be comparing, you just want to be learning.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And your relationship with money, in most cases, it's AKA stress, because without the right relationship with money, stresses show up. and then we take it out on ourselves and we take it personally and but on that note, let's close this off. What do you have to say to everybody as we say goodbye?
Oh, that you are all whole and resourced, and you are the expert at yourself. So if you want to rediscover your best self, coaches are here for support, but you have the power within you.
Perfect. Perfect. I love that. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Big
Thank
hugs.
you.
Yes.
Hugs, hugs.
Hugs, hugs. And we will talk soon.
Yes, we'll look forward to it. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye, Sonia.